Part 25. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhezhi. Chapter 242. Jin Li changed out of the costume, washed off her makeup, and received a big red envelope from Yuan Dao. Her role is now all over. Jin Li hugged and said goodbye to the original director one by one. When Jiming cooperated with a smile, and the two took a selfie with their arms around their shoulders. When it was Su Hexiang's turn, Jin Li didn't step forward, but tilted her head and asked, "Su, don't you have a cleanliness addiction?" "Su Hexiang," she said with a cold face, "do you like to hug or not?" Jin Li loved her arrogant little appearance so much, she stepped forward and gave her a fragrant hug. When leaving, Su Hexiang stopped her. "My birthday party on the 30th of the end of the month, you remember to come?" Jin Li responded. She was thinking about preparing a special gift for Su Hexiang. After all, this is the first time someone has invited her to a birthday party since she has been in the world for so long. When she got home, she talked to Lan Ting about it, and wanted to ask what human girls generally like. As a result, Lan Ting was stunned when she heard the 30th. "Isn't the 30th also your birthday, Jin Li?" Jin Li blinked, followed by a bit of confusion. "Really?" She thought about it carefully, and it was true. Bai Jin Li's birthday is August 30th. It is the same day as Su. Even the two are the same age. Lan Ting looked at Jin Li, a little helpless. "How can you forget your own birthday? I remember seeing your encyclopedia. I also ordered materials online, and I'm going to make a big cake for you." Jin Li didn't pay much attention to this. She has never replaced herself with Bai Jin Li, not even the top-notch Bai family, let alone a birthday. But Lan Ting's thoughts are more precious than those things. She thought about it for a while, then discussed it and said, "I haven't had anything to do lately anyway. Let's cross midnight together the night before. How about our birthday?" Lan Ting felt a little distressed for her, "But you are also on your birthday tomorrow, and you are also the little princess of our fans. Why do you want to celebrate another person's birthday?" Jin Li's brain hurts a little. She felt that Lan Ting, a girl who was usually gentle, was easy to talk to, but sometimes she was very stubborn. But she also understands that Lan Ting is also doing this because she is really good to her. The little fairy can kick those wicked villains away with one kick, but she can't do anything about this kind of sincere tenderness. She could only coax Lan Ting, and in the end she did not hesitate to use beauty to make Lan Ting groggy, and finally passed the test. The little fairy, who was relieved, sat in her room and thought seriously, "She is obviously a fish. Why do you still do those fox things? Soon it will be the night of the 29th. She probably still felt wronged by her own Jin Li. Lan Ting went to the supermarket alone to buy a shopping cart full of vegetables. After working in the kitchen all afternoon, she made Jin Li a hearty dinner. Without calling anyone else, she notified Sister Qing to come and have dinner together. The gift that Sister Qing brought to Jin Li was a bunch of agar wood bracelets. "I asked this from the Jingguang Temple in Qinja Mountain. I wish you a smooth journey to the stars," Sister Qing said. Jin Li looked at the unremarkable string of beads. Strangely, she actually felt a willpower from it. Although weak, it can really bless people. This kind of thing, in this world, is afraid that it is a good thing that money can't buy, right? Jin Li looked at Sister Qing and said sincerely, "Thank you, Sister Qing." Although the thing is useless to her, the intention contained in it is much more precious than the bracelet itself. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhezhi. Chapter 243. Sister Qing said with a stern face, "I'm not entirely for you. You must know that you are the most promising artist I have brought over the years. I also hope that you will bring me fame after you become popular." Jin Li and Lan Ting looked at each other, and they both saw the same meaning in each other's eyes. Sister Ching is still so hard-hearted and soft-hearted. Jin Li is not a last resort and will never stay up late. Although her current body has been transformed a lot by divine power, it is not her original fairy body after all. Staying up late is very bad for human body and beauty. So she also missed a lot of things. Woke up the next morning. Jin Li picked up the phone and found that there were several messages on it. Lu Zhenjia, happy birthday, Jin Li. Lu Jianzhen, happy birthday to baby Jin Li. Lan Ting, Sister Qing, and Lu Qingyuan all sent their blessings. She glanced at the time, and it turned out that it was sent to herself in the early morning. Jin Li smiled and replied one by one. After she washes up, she wakes up. Su Hexiang's birthday banquet was a dinner party, so it was still early. Lan Ting has prepared a delicious breakfast and is waiting for her. Jin Li snorted and stepped forward to give Lan Ting a hug. Dear Lan Ting, you are really amazing. The two had just finished breakfast when the doorbell rang. Lan Ting went down and opened the door. He had a smile on his face when he came up. Jin Li looked behind her curiously, and saw Lu Jianzhen and Lu Zhenjia's siblings. Yeah. Sister, Lu Zhenjia. Jin Li was a little surprised. Lu Jianzhen came up and gave her a hug. Baby Jin Li's birthday is today, how could my sister not come? She handed Jin Li a beautifully packaged box. Happy birthday. Jin Li happily took it over. Lu Jianzhen glanced sideways at the little brother beside him. Lu Zhenjia also handed over a box. Jin Li, happy birthday. Jin Li tilted her head and asked hesitantly, there isn't something like a beloved star in here, right? If so, she wouldn't dare to accept it. Lu Zhenjia smiled, no, don't worry. Jin Li then brought the box over, and still gave a sweet smile, thank you. Jin Li pulled the two of them into the door and sat down. In high spirits, she wanted to serve drinks for the two of them in person. Lan Ting was worried and followed her. The two siblings of the Lu family were sitting on the sofa. Lu Jianzhen glanced at Lu Zhenjia lightly, love the stars. Huh. Lu Zhenjia coughed lightly and told her about it. Lu Jianzhen. She was very happy, I can't see it, little four, you stingy fellow, you actually have such a willing day. This stinginess is not sarcasm. Who knows, from top to bottom in the Lu family, the fourth young master has a hobby, collecting good things. He has a very large collection room full of precious treasures. But related to this hobby is another unknown character of the fourth young master of the Lu family, stingy. For example, in his collection room, the door of that special material alone has 3 passwords. No one is allowed to go in except Lu Zhenjia himself. Of course, not to mention giving away. Lu Jianzhen glared at the demon-like little brother in front of him. This guy's superficial skills were so good that no one except the Lu family knew his stingy personality. No one knew how many good things he had hidden. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 244. Thinking of this, Lu Jianzhen felt a little sour in his heart. She said sourly, it's vain that I have loved you so much since I was a child, why haven't I seen you give me a star of love? She hasn't seen the real thing, but she has seen real photos on Mrs. Cody's social platform. Such beauty, no woman cannot be moved. Lu Zhenjia glanced at her and said confidently, but there is only one beloved star in the world. Of course, I want to give it to the only Jin Li in the world. Although he didn't say the last sentence, how could Lu Jianzhen not understand the meaning of his unfinished words? She hummed and didn't get angry, just stretched out her hand, stroked her curly hair on her temples, and said lightly, then, Mr. Lu doesn't need my sister to help you. Lu Zhenjia. He seemed to be strangled by fate. The atmosphere became stagnant for a while. Jin Li's appearance broke the silence. Holding the tray, she keenly sensed the unusual atmosphere between siblings at this time. "Come, try the coffee I made by myself." Jin Li didn't ask what happened, but brought the coffee to the two of them. The Lu family sister and brother both gave their face quite a bit, and took a sip. Lu Zhenjia's expression remained the same, and Lu Jianzhen's smile was full of the same. Jin Li asked expectantly, "How is it?" "It's my first time making coffee. Is it delicious?" Lu Jianzhen said with a smile, "It's delicious. Jin Li's little baby is very clever, but I like to drink the same sweet taste as Jin Li. Can you add some sugar to me?" Not only was praised for his craftsmanship, but also his beauty. Jin Li felt that his whole fish was floating a little. She said happily, "I'll go get a sugar cube." Looking at Lu Zhenjia again, "How about you?" Lu Zhenjia glanced at her sister. Tisk, a woman's mouth, a deceiving ghost. And he was different. Forcefully pressing down the bitter taste on the tip of the tongue, Lu Zhenjia smiled unchanged. "It's delicious, I like this slightly bitter taste." Lu Jianzhen. She gave her younger brother a mocking look. "Oh, man, who gave you the confidence to despise me?" According to Jin Li's intention, she was going to stay with the Lu siblings for lunch. But these two are not idle people, and it is already a waste of time to spend the morning with her on her birthday. Jin Li also understood this very well, and without saying anything, sent the two of them out. "The windows are closed." Lu Zhenjia looked at the woman in the rearview mirror and said lightly, "I'll give you a gift and continue to help me." Lu Jianzhen snorted and made a request, "I want to go in and have a look." She has been curious about this little brother's collection room for a long time. Lu Zhenjia categorically refused. "No." Lu Jianzhen said with an indifferent face, "Oh, my brother has grown up, and I don't need my sister anymore." Lu Zhenjia. He was once again choked by fate. Finally, he took a step back. "Only, stand outside and take a look. Don't go in," he stressed. Lu Jianzhen. She glanced at her younger brother's determined expression, and knew that this was probably his bottom line. "Okay, it's okay to have a look." She agreed and reminded him, "Yes, and also, don't forget the gift you gave me." "Yeah." A man's unhappy voice came from the front driver's seat. Seeing this younger brother unhappy, Lu Jianzhen was very happy. The Koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi goddess. Author, Sushao Zheji. Chapter 245. Jin Li didn't know what unexplainable transaction the sister and brother had completed behind their backs. At this moment, she has already started to pack up and go to Sue's house. After changing into a beautiful little dress, Jin Li walked into the room and opened the small drawer by the bed. There was a small transparent glass bottle, which contained half a bottle of silver liquid, and in the middle of the liquid, a jade bead the size of a pinky fingernail stayed quietly inside. Jin Li opened the glass bottle, and the silver liquid inside seemed to have spirituality. It suddenly turned into a silver mist, drilled out of the bottle, and submerged into Jin Li's body. This is Jin Li's divine power. Jin Li poured out the jade bead and held it in his hand. The jade beads were originally just ordinary beads in the jewelry store, but Jin Li used her divine power to warm her up for half a month. Up to now, I can see that the jade bead is clear and moist, and I can see that it is not bad. If you look closely in front of you, you can also see silver waves circulating in it, like a living thing. Even people who don't know the goods will know its preciousness. If you are a person who knows the goods, you will be even more amazed. It is often said that the best precious jade is alive, and this jade bead looks at it, and it is about to be alive. Jin Li put it in the palm of his hand and looked at it for a moment, feeling quite satisfied. She thought about it for a while, and with a finger, silver light flashed in the palm of her hand, and a thin silver line appeared in the center of the jade bead. A delicate and graceful necklace completes it. Su Hexiang's birthday banquet is a major event for the Su family. Since the afternoon, people have arrived at the Su family mansion one after another. The Su family is a family of traditional Chinese medicine, and the old house is a traditional quaint courtyard. Such a yard, in today's imperial capital, is conservatively a 9-digit valuation, not the one that starts with 1. On Jinli Road, he sent a message to Su Hexiang. When he arrived, he saw that today's protagonist was already waiting for him at the door of his house. "Your house is so lively today," Jinli sighed with his eyes swept around. Su Hexiang rarely smiled a little today. They are all close friends and relatives in the family. She was right. She never invited unrelated people to her birthday party, and the media didn't even think about getting in. In this large room, after all, the number of guests Su Hexiang personally invited, that is, her friends, was less than 10. Most of them are close friends of her parents, and they are also elders who have treated her as half a daughter since childhood. Speaking of which, although the girl Su Hexiang has a cold personality since she was a child, she is unexpectedly loved by the elders. There were already many people in the living room. Seeing that Su Hexiang actually went to the door to greet her, many people looked over curiously and wanted to know who was coming. When they saw Jinli, many people let out a voice of surprise and admiration. Most of the people sitting here are not people in the entertainment industry, and they are not particularly familiar with Jinli. Most of their surprises stem from Jinli herself, such a beautiful and aura girl. Immediately, some elders beckoned and called them over. "Susu, is this your friend?" The speaker was a lady in her 40s, with a beautiful face and elegant temperament. Su Hexiang was very affectionate towards her. "Aunt Han, this is my friend, Jin Li." The woman called Aunt Han looked at Jinli with a smile. Yes, she is a beautiful girl." Fish loved to hear this. Jinli also boasted back with a smile, "Madam, you are also very beautiful." There's no woman who doesn't like to hear this kind of compliment, especially when you can feel that the person who compliments you is really a sincere compliment. The smile on Aunt Han's face immediately deepened. She was about to say something when a gentle voice sounded in her ear. "What are you talking about so happy?" Jinli turned back and heard Su Hexiang calling out for her mother. She saw someone coming. The next moment, she widened her eyes in surprise. "4 is over, ask for a ticket, ask for a ticket." I see a lot of readers asking, let me say it again, the free period is updated 4 times a day and updated at midnight in the morning. In addition, the reader group, 573871319 welcome the big babies to play. The Koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 246. Su Hexiang's mother is a dancer. Although she is over 40 years old, she is well maintained, with a slender figure, a fair and soft face, and Su Hexiang's temperament is a bit like her. It's just that Su Hexiang is cold in the quiet, and she has been endowed with tenderness by the years. However, no matter how similar it is, Jinli can't deny it. Between the mother and daughter, she could not see the slightest bond of luck related to blood. Why is this so? Jinli looked at the two of them carefully, causing Su Hexiang to ask, "What's wrong with you, Jinli?" Jinli came back to her senses, took back her mind, and smiled. "I just saw the beautiful mother and the beautiful daughter standing together, and my eyes are not enough." Su Hexiang snorted angrily, "You will say this kind of rhetoric to deceive people." Jinli said with a smile, "But you clearly like listening to it." Mother Su was a little surprised to see these two bickering. Of course she knew Jinli. As a qualified daughter controller, she not only pays attention to Su Hexiang's Weibo, but even brushes her daughter's news several times a day. When Su Hexiang was speaking for Jinli before, she had read the news about Jinli, and she was very surprised that her daughter, who had always been above the top, would speak for Jinli. Seeing the way they get along with her own eyes this time, she was even more amazed. Susu is not someone who likes to joke around. If she can talk to Jinli like this, she is afraid that she will be regarded as a good friend from the bottom of her heart. Thinking of this, she took another look at Jinli carefully. Beautiful little girls are always liked by elders, especially the kind of beautiful little girls who are like little fairies, full of aura and innocence. Older people can see through the outside and see something deeper. In Su's mother's eyes, Jinli's eyes are clear and her demeanor is charming and smart. It is impossible for such a girl to be the star covered in black spots in the gossip news. What's more, when Mother Su looked at Jinli, she always felt that the other party had a strangely familiar feeling about her. This feeling made her want to stand closer to Jinli, hold her hand, and have a good talk with her. Unfortunately, today's occasion is not suitable for this. Mother Su said with a smile, "Susu, take Jinli to the small building to play for a while." On the other side of the small building are a few of Su Hexiang's best friends, the younger generation, and everyone has a common language together. The small building is Su Hexiang's residence. When she was a child, she watched TV and saw a person living in a small building. The upstairs and downstairs were full of flowers of various colors. He lived in the fragrance of flowers all year round. Su Hexiang, who doesn't know anything, is acting like a spoiled child with her father and wants to live in such a small building. If you are an ordinary parent, you will be done with a little perfunctory. But Su's father and Su's mother did not. They really invited designers and architects. According to the terrain and conditions of the backyard, they built a separate and beautiful small building. According to their daughter's request, they also opened a lake downstairs, which is full of 4 seasons of colorful flowers. Walking upstairs slowly on the wooden circular staircase, Su Hexiang said to Jinli, "My mother likes you very much." There is a difference between liking him because he is his daughter's friend and liking Jinli because of this person. Su Hexiang could see that her mother really liked Jinli. Jinli's hand slid over the vines wrapped around the railing next to her, tilted her head and said with a smile, "Of course, I'm very popular. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is Sweet as Honey, Love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 247. Jinli handed the box in her hand to Su Hexiang. "This is for you, happy birthday." Su Hexiang glanced at her and took it, "Thank you." While speaking, the two had already gone upstairs. Walking through the wooden corridor, you can hear the sound of someone chatting in the house. Su Hexiang walked in with Jinli and saw that there were already 5 or 6 people chatting inside. There are 2 pairs with cooked noodles, one is Wen Jiming, and the other is a female star in the circle. The others look fresh and should be friends from outside Su Hexiang's circle. These people were stunned when they saw Jinli. Wen Jiming came first to say hello, and the others also responded and began to introduce themselves to each other. The so-called people are divided into groups. Su Hexiang's popularity is not very good, but her friends are all kind and lovely young people. At least, Jinli likes them very much. A few people faced Jinli, obviously a little restrained. It's because Jinli's appearance is too dazzling, not to mention that the opposite sex can't help but restrain herself and show her best side in front of her, even if they are both girls. There are 2 when Jinli smiles at them. All blushed quietly. When Su Hexiang was making tea for Jinli, a girl who had been studying for a master's degree abroad and came back specially for her birthday followed. "Ah Xiang, is this friend you brought an angel? When she smiled at me, I wanted to give my life away." Su Hexiang rolled her eyes at her, "Who told me that you should dedicate your life to knowledge in this life?" The girl named Su Fan held her face with a look of longing. "That's because I have never met a girl like Jinli." Su Hexiang. Therefore, most of the brain circuits of these scholars are abnormal. By the time Suhexiang walked over with tea, Jinli was already chatting happily with everyone present. As she herself said, in this world, there are very few people who can resist the charm of the little fairy and dislike her. After all, Suhexiang was the protagonist of today's banquet. Although most of the elders in the living room were entertained by her parents, after all, they were here for her birthday, and it would be rude not to show up. Suhexiang spoke to a few people and went down by herself. Mother Su, who was chatting with several ladies, saw her daughter and asked strangely, "Where's Jinli?" Suhexiang was cold outside, and she was always spoiled and squeamish at home. When she heard the words, she held her mother's hand and tasted, "I just met once, so I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, I'll bring Jinli over to be your daughter." Sue's mother had a brooding look when she heard the words, and she was seriously considering this possibility. Suhexiang. Seeing her like this, Sue's mother burst out laughing, okay, I'm teasing you." She gently touched Suhexiang's face, "Mom's Hexiang, you are your parents forever, baby." It didn't take long for Jinli and the others to be notified. Suhexiang's birthday party finally officially started. When entering the banquet hall, Jinli saw that Suhexiang had changed into a dress. The snow-colored knee-length dress set off her cold temperament, making Suhexiang as attractive as a princess from the snowy region. Jinli noticed that around her neck, she was wearing the necklace she gave. This discovery made Jinli couldn't help laughing. Susu is such a lovely and gentle person. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 248. After Suhexiang gave a thank you speech to the guests present, she walked to the beautiful cake on the side. Like all the other guests, Jinli looked at the beautiful little princess in the middle of the crowd. She seemed to have thought of something, her eyes turned slightly, and fell on the Su family's parents who were standing on the side. The beautiful lady is holding her husband's hand. Father Su is a very refined middle-aged man. The husband and wife are both looking at their daughter at the moment, with the same doting and pride in their expressions. They love Styrax. Jinli could see it, and so could all the guests present. Jinli was a little confused. She was very sure that she had never heard the rumor that Suhexiang was not the biological daughter of the Su family. So, what's the situation? After tangled for a while, Jinli shook her head. Do not care. Does this matter? The Su family loves Suhexiang very much, and their family lives very happily. That's enough. Jinli, who was caught in her own thoughts, suddenly heard someone calling her name. She was stunned for a moment, and found that Suhexiang was calling her. The guests present also turned their attention to Jinli because of Suhexiang's call. Suhexiang walked towards Jinli and stood still in front of her. Jinli looked at her in confusion as she took her hand and walked all the way to the cake in the center. Susu. She looked at her puzzled. Suhexiang gave her a rare smile and said loudly, "My good friend Jinli, today is also her 24th birthday, but she came here to celebrate my birthday." Jinli blinked in surprise. Does Suhexiang actually know her birthday? Suhexiang nodded to the side, and a waiter came forward with a tray. In the tray, on the golden flannel, was a delicate hair crown. It is exactly the same as the crown on Suhexiang's head. Suhexiang picked it up and said to all the guests present, "Today's birthday banquet, today's blessings and today's joy, I want to share with Jinli." She turned her head to look at Jinli, and smiled from the bottom of her eyes. "Jinli, happy birthday." Jinli stared blankly at Suhexiang. She touched where her heart was, and it was a little swollen and a little sour. But it is very comfortable, even more comfortable than spitting bubbles in Lingquan. Under Suhexiang's gaze, Jinli suddenly burst into a bright smile. She lowered her head and let Su Hexiang put the beautiful little crown on top of her head. Then, she stepped forward and hugged her gently. Thank you, Susu. Also, happy birthday. The guests present, including Su Hexiang's parents, did not expect this development. But they all showed joyful and sincere smiles, applauded, and sent their most sincere wishes to the beautiful little birthday stars. Su Hexiang and Jinli cut the cake together. Jinli came back to his senses only now, and whispered to Su Hexiang, "You're actually playing this all of a sudden, don't you know?" I didn't respond. "Hey, do you really like me?" Su Hexiang snorted softly, "Stop being selfish. I think you are pitiful. Not many people have even given you a birthday." When Jinli and Wen Jiming were chatting last time, she happened to listen. Although the specifics are not very clear, Jinli's parents are not biological, and Su Hexiang knew that the adoptive parents were not good to her. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhezhi. Chapter 249. If the adoptive parents treat Jinli badly, they will definitely not care about her birthday. In addition, Su Hexiang happened to know that Jinli and her birthday were on the same day, so she thought of this temporarily. Jinli heard that she was still duplicitous at the moment, and was finally convinced by the girl's stubbornness. She quietly took her hand. "Okay, I don't like you if you don't like it, anyway, I just like you very much." The corners of Su Hexiang's mouth twitched quickly, but no one noticed. By the time the birthday party was over, it was already 9 o'clock in the evening. Su Hexiang changed her clothes and arranged for the driver at home to take Jinli home. Jinli waved his hand. "Don't be so troublesome, Lanting has already called a car to pick me up." At this time, Su Hexiang's parents also came. Seeing Jinli, Mother Su's eyes lit up and walked over quickly. Jinli noticed that she also had a small box in her hand. Su's mother handed the box to Jinli and said with a smile, "Let's not talk about it together, I don't even know that today is also Jinli's birthday. This is a birthday present from your aunt and uncle." Jinli smiled at her, took the box with a cherished attitude, and said seriously, "Thank you, Auntie." She looked at Dad Su again. "Thank you, Uncle." Dad Su said with a warm smile, "When you go back at night, remember to ask the driver to drive slowly and pay attention to safety." Jinli thought about it for a while. This kind of care and home-like admonition had never appeared in Bai Jinli's memory. The Bai family would contact her except for money matters, and they would never think of her daughter at other times. Sure enough, these are normal parents, right? Jinli rolled her eyes. Yes. She glanced away and saw a familiar vehicle. "My assistant has come to pick me up. Goodbye Uncle and Auntie, goodbye Susu." Jinli held the gift in her arms and said goodbye to the Su family with a smile. Seeing Jinli getting into the car, Su's mother said to Su's father, "Am I right? Jinli is a beautiful and lovable child, and also a good eye. When I first saw her, I felt very kind and loving." Dad Su said with a smile, "It's really a good kid. We can invite that kid to our house more in the future." Su Hexiang stood aside and complained jokingly, "It seems that you have seen a more beautiful little girl, and your own girl has become a weed." Dad Su burst out laughing, nodding Su Hexiang's forehead, holding his wife in one hand and his daughter in the other. Go home." Jinli was sitting in the back seat holding the gift. Lanting looked at the gift box in her arms and asked strangely, "Why did you go to the birthday party and received a gift?" When Jinli heard her say this, she couldn't help laughing and opened the gift box in her arms. It is a very beautiful diamond brooch, but the shape is not the popular style nowadays, with a bit of retro flavor. Moreover, looking at the design and surface gloss, you can see that it is not a new thing, but more like an object that has been carefully collected and has a certain age. Lanting exclaimed, "What a beautiful brooch! Where did it come from?" Jinli smiled and told her what happened to her. Lanting was happy for her and said with emotion, "I didn't expect that Suhexiang looked so clear and cold, and she was so attentive." She added another sentence in her heart, "The enemy is so powerful, Mr. Lu, you have to do your best. Don't let our CP fans down." For after the update, remember to vote for Gao Lengzi. Good night babes. I'm sure I'm a real mother, and I'm sure this is a sweet pet article. I don't abuse anything except scumbags, especially the gentle and beautiful young lady. Ladies and sisters are the treasures of the world. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Koi Fairy Wife is sweet as honey, love from the Koi Goddess. Author, Su Xiao Zheji. Chapter 250. However, after listening to what Jin Li said, and the excitement of Su Hexiang's birthday party, Lanting began to feel sorry for Jin Li again. "Did your family call you?" she asked Jin Li. Jin Li shook his head. Lanting became angry again. "It's also a family. Even if it's not biological, it's a child raised since childhood. I don't even remember a birthday, it's too much." Jin Li was a little helpless. She has told Lanting many times that she doesn't care about the Bai family. But Lanting always thought she was pretending to be strong and smiling. But soon Lanting was no longer angry. Because the Weibo she has been following suddenly has fans brushing Jin Li's birthday. Originally today's hot search was related to a birthday. It's Su. Su Hexiang has been in the entertainment industry for so many years and has accumulated a large number of die-hard fans. These loyal fans naturally pay attention to everything about Su Hexiang, including her birthday. But Jin Li is different. How long has it been since she came to Bai Jin Li? Just a few months. In Bai Jin Li's previous situation, there were more black fans than real fans, and few people remembered her birthday. Jin Li has a lot of fans now, but most of them are new fans accumulated in the past few months. When a fan was bored, he swiped Jin Li's encyclopedia, looked at the date of birth and looked familiar, and thought again, isn't it today? Jin Li's birthday today? This fan not only posted doubts on Weibo, but also asked people in the Jin Li fan group in Xia. A lot of people really don't know about this. But these are not difficult for the fans of the magic. They checked the old Weibo that Jin Li had abandoned and found a message that Bai Jin Li had posted 3 years ago. The picture is a cake. The date is indeed the 20th. Jin Li's birthday today? No one even knows. They're not really good fans. At the moment, fans have left messages under Jin Li's Weibo. Not just that. The big boss of the fan group also eyed all the members, and let the willing fans record a small video of blessing. In the later period, the Big Brother integrated these small videos at a godlike speed and made a complete birthday greeting video. This is not enough. A big boss with a mine at home directly bought the advertising space of the entire subway line in the imperial capital that night, because it was too late during the day, and used it to put Jin Li birthday wishes. These seem to be insignificant compared to the birthday cheers of the fans who are crazy about the traffic stars, but what if this is just a temporary event organized in half a day? So, Weibo exploded. Articles and videos titled #HappyBirthday# are growing at a terrifying speed. More and more fans have joined the army of wishing the little fairy's birthday. Click on the hot search, and someone keeps updating the latest situation. Fans in XX Place hurriedly made billboards, and hundreds of fans gathered to celebrate Jin Li's birthday. A well-known cartoonist painted a Q-version portrait for Jin Li to celebrate. Fans continue to swipe happy birthday under Jin Li's Weibo, and some people swipe sorry, saying that they don't even remember the little fairy's birthday. Lanting has been swiping Weibo excitedly, and she suddenly felt like crying. When no one remembered Jin Li's birthday, she felt aggrieved for the other party. But at this moment, with so many fans sending blessings to Jin Li from all over the country, She felt emotional and a little sour in her heart. I feel that now there are finally so many people who understand Jinli, so many people like her as much as she does. It's sad again, the little fairy is no longer the only little fairy that she quietly likes. The koi fairy wife is sweet as honey, love from the koi goddess. Author, Su Xiaozhaji. Chapter 251. Jin Li sat on the sofa and brushed Weibo with Lan Ting. She looked at Lan Ting, who was surprised for a while and then nervous for a while, and she couldn't help crying and laughing. Why are you more excited than me? Lan Ting is liking one by one on the comments to the fans wishing Jin Li, and she said to Jin Li with a smile, I'm happy. The treasure that I cherished carefully was finally recognized by others. Seeing the various fans below wishing Jin Li to praise Jin Li, she was happier than she was praised. At this time, Jin Li and Lan Ting were not the only people who swiped Weibo. Celebrities in many circles are also watching the news online. Many of them are watching Jin Li from being scolded by thousands of people until now. Obviously, it's still the same person. Why did he suddenly turn over? Many people don't even understand how Jin Li did it. Xu Ya, who was sitting on a diet restricted by her manager because she was overweight, was eating boiled vegetables reluctantly, while quietly giving Jin Li a compliment. She thinks Jin Li is very powerful. She didn't like each other before because Jin Li used to be really annoying. But when Mrs. Jean was on the crew, Xu Ya felt that Jin Li seemed to have really changed now. She worked hard in filming and was happy every day. Plus she was really good looking, which made people feel good when they saw her. On a lot. And the little grudges in the past, people don't seem to remember at all. Since the other party has not cared about it, and he is caring about it, doesn't it seem very ungracious? Xu Ya thought about it, and felt that she couldn't lose. Then let the past be the past. Lu Zhenjia is also on Weibo. He actually read Weibo before. He didn't see Jin Li mentioning his birthday specifically. He thought that the other party didn't want to show off, so of course he would just silently bring his sister a gift. But now, fans seem to have found out, and spontaneously celebrate Jin Li's birthday. In this case, as a recognized Jin Li Yanfen, how could he miss it? Lu Zhenjia really wanted this and that. But this time, he learned to be smart. Before taking action, he called Lu Jianzhen to ask for her opinion. After Lu Jianzhen heard his idea, he fell into silence. 4 children. After a few seconds, Lu Jianzhen said in a euphemistic tone, our Lu family, after all, has been passed down from the previous dynasty, not the kind of upstart who suddenly became rich, right? Usually, he looks like a qualified and arrogant family owner. Why is it that once Jin Li is involved, the whole person is filled with a kind of honey-smelling sand sculpture? Lu Zhenjia. Lu Jianzhen gave him an analogy. Suppose you replace Jin Li with any other star in the entertainment industry, and then put your own role on any boss you know, and then look at the suggestions you said, how do you feel? Lu Zhenjia couldn't help but imagined what his sister said, and then he said. Stupid indeed. Not only stupid, but also superficial, no grade. After realizing that the person who came up with these things was himself, Lu Zhenjia. He felt that there was probably something wrong with him. And he felt that there was a reason why he couldn't compare to Lu Qingyuan in front of Jin Li before. President Ba, who had figured it out, changed his expression in an instant, and instantly dropped his face. Sister, help me.